done themselves, just to warm us up and get started while a few more people jump on.
I'll go a massive shout out for Sue's Chapel down in Tassie. She's creating consultants and on fire.
Well done, Suze. Is she on? Is she busy? There she is. Suze, did you hear your shout out?
No, I didn't. I've just got
Janie,
on.
do you want to go again? Janie, go again while she's on.
It was shout out to Sue's creating heaps of consultants. You're on fire.
Oh, thank you. Also, a massive shout out to Emily, who has had just an incredible week. So many enrollments. She's really just, her team is blowing up. It's just from her energy and belief and leadership. It's just really, really exciting. So I've just done a post up for Emily, and if you haven't seen it, please jump on Emily's page and congratulate her and show us some love, because she's inspiring us all. So shout out to Emily.
Awesome, Emily. Well done. Popping up all the time. It's so good. Who else has got a shout out?
Hey, Shari. Congratulations, Em and Musta. That's fantastic. And well done, Suze. I'll have a shout out for Shawnee Browning. I don't know what's happened, but I think he's just enrolled 3 people today, and he enrolled 4 people last week, which is just a phenomenal effort, and really getting some great cycle growth, hitting the 10 cycle growth twice now. So awesome work there for Shawnee Browning and as well. And I went to celebrate that on Facebook, but it's got blocked. So just be careful. I've found out that there is a Facebook jail. So if anyone doesn't know about that, maybe just be a little bit careful in that space. This is a real thing.
Well done, Sean. You're probably too busy. I can't see Sean on, so maybe he's too busy to be jumping on, which is fair enough. We understand that. Welcome, Ben. Good morning. Good middle of the night. Anybody else want to shout out before we start?
I just want to say a quick welcome to my good friend Nick, who's just getting started, and he is so excited to share this with other people as well. So he's already started on his list.
Oh, well done, Nick. That's awesome. Making your flying start. I thought he was going to say hello.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Hello. I couldn't quite hear there. It must have been a bit of a delay. Sorry about that. I've got a little bit of a head cold, guys. So if I go to cough or anything, I'm going to mute myself out, and so no one can see me slowly dying in the background.
Beautiful. You enjoy tonight. I hope you enjoy tonight. Any more shout outs? Any more shout outs, or we'll get started? No, all good. There's Sean. I think you missed a shout out, Sean. So you've got a massive shout out because you're doing such an awesome job. So tonight we're going to do a call about creating consultants, and it's a process that a lot of people in this group tonight are heavily involved in and are making it happen this week. So for all of you who are majorly in depth with that's awesome. It's just going to be a freshen up. And for all of those who haven't created a consultant, it's going to find some starting points, and it's going to be a very practical call, and it's going to give lots of options, and maybe finding an option that suits you is going to be a good way to think about tonight, and what resonates with you. Can everybody make sure that their line's muted? Debbie, I think you need to mute your line. Yeah, okay. I know it's quiet now anyway. So the best place to start with creative consultants is to give our new associates the best start that they can have. So we always need to start with basics. So, you know, it sounds so simple, those steps at like unpacking the box, the welcome email, the new associates checklist, the running through the back office, explaining the 16-week challenge, explaining you +2, them +2 straight up when you do the new associate checklist. They're all basic things, but they're all the place where we need to start. And if someone doesn't get this awesome start, they're probably not going to consider the next step. So it's always about starting with the basics. And we need to realise that we're getting paid $80 to give this great experience. And to create the consultants, they need to, realise that this is the place to start. And they're going to run from their initial experience, they're going to carry that on to people. So the first thing a new associate needs to find is value in sharing. So they can find value in that, knowing that they're going to get their products paid for. They might find value in being able to help their friends and family to find better health. They might find value in a cash rebate. And if they're very business orientated, they might find value in a low cost of a business startup. So nobody's going to share if they don't see any value in what they're going to share. So let's get into some ways of creating consultants. So I'm just going to go through a few different ways and then let everybody sort of step in if they've got some other ways that they like to do it and some good ideas. So the most easiest basic way is to start with Isagenix Business. You go to the Start Here section. It shows you exactly the steps. Use the products, make a list, connect, share it, get your new members to start right, and then plug in. So this is the researcher's way to share, to make a consultant, and it's probably more for someone that's longer term and looking into it. It's not going to create an instant consultant and that quick consultant that you guys running for executive is making now, but it's where all the information is and where all the steps are. So another way is to looking at making consultants is to, someone's popped up, is to go to the how to get your products paid for form. So this is in Isagenix Business as well. This is also not a quick, fast, easy consultant way, but it's a really good way to step your associates through a practical list, and you do it with them. So, you know, you write the list with them, you get them to write out you +2, them +2. They then commit to calling the people on the list, you follow up, you join your people, and then you support them. So another very practical way to create consultants, but again, it's not going to create an instant consultant. So the next approach is what I call the Heidi McCallum approach. So it's fast, simple, and very relaxed. So Brendan's going to help me with this approach. He's going to be my associate. So if he unmutes himself.
Yep, I'm here.
So, Brendan, it's just so exciting that your President Pack's on its way.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pumped.
Yeah, so really now it's time to just look at how you can get your $370 rebate.
Wow, I didn't know that was offered. Sounds
well, yeah, it is. And, you know, we're so lucky to have this rebate. So what happens from here is all we need you to do is find 2 friends that can join the journey with you. So when do you think you'll have time next week for a tasting/information night?
I'm busy Monday and Tuesday, so maybe if we could we look at Wednesday night? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, Wednesday's perfect. So really all you need to do is invite your friends over. I'll be there and take them through a little presentation, and everybody can have a taste and find out what you're doing. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'd be excited for that for sure.
So as you can see, it is that simple. And you know, if you step that out and assume that that person's going to have an information night or a tasting night, whatever you feel comfortable, it is that simple. And that's how Heidi McCallum finds it so easy to make consultants, because she just truly believes that simple. It is that simple. And I know personally from having launch parties that every single launch party I've had, I've signed somebody. So they instantly become consultant. The next people then learn how easy it is to do that, and they, from that party, will book their party. And you can go along and support them and present it, and it needs to be simple and relaxed. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. So the next approach that is the same rebate approach that is simple is, you know, once someone's joined and they're feeling a little bit comfortable with, you know, what they're doing, and it's still in their first month because they want to get the full rebate, they've got some trust for you, it's time for them to do an intrigue post on Facebook. And so some people might not be up for the party, but usually everybody's up for an intrigue post on Facebook. So there's a really good Crystal Wilson Take Action call. It's about social media, and it shows you how to step through someone putting up this initial intrigue post. So you need to not write it for them, but you need to help them write it, explain to them that they need to be vulnerable and they need to share, you know, not share too much, but share enough that people are intrigued. You need to tag the person that sponsored you in it so they can help you with all your responses. And you also need to be ready to reply to every single person that's reacted to your post. So I looked back through my things or my posts today, and 2 months in, I decided to do my first intrigue post. And I remember I responded to the 80 people that liked my post. Every single one of them I responded to. So you have to be in a place that you're ready to respond to all those people. And I tagged Sean in it, and we went, you know, every time I got to, you know, that stuck point of, oh, what am I going to say to that person? It was as simple as sharing it with him, and he helped me. It didn't have to be more complicated than that. So the next approach is something that I hadn't heard before. So this one was really new for me, and this is from Jill Bowman, and she's 11-star platinum, 7-star crystal executive. She's Isagenix 126 millionaire, and she has 6 children. So her team has a method, and it is so extremely simple and so extremely duplicatable that it's, yeah, unbelievable. She calls it the hope, faith, belief. So, and her team is making consultants in the first 4 to 7 days of people enrolling. So the first step is the hope, and this is when you introduce somebody, and this is when, you know, they're in that stage of, I hope this works for me, and I've tried everything. Shari, do you think this is going to work? I'm not sure if this is going to work. So they're really hopeful. So you introduce them, you give them that great experience. So 4 days later, you reach into the faith section. And in this section, you call them and they're saying, only 4 days later, and they're saying, oh my God, I've lost some weight and I feel great. And they've started to have this faith in you, and they're going, I can't believe how I feel. You know, this is unbelievable. And from there, this trust is starting to show, and they've got this faith in you. And so then it's about saying, okay, this is what we do next. I want you to put a post on Facebook, and this is what I want you to say. So this is Jill's words, and this is exactly what she gets them to say. It's one sentence. This blew me away. So the sentence says, would you like to know more information on the nutritional products I am using? -PM me. That's it. That's all they write. And so in that same guided section, once the new person puts that out, this is 4 days in, every single person she's done this with, and her team's done this with, and she's got a team of, there's 30,000 people in her Facebook group. Once they've done this, everybody, and usually they get between 2 and 4 PMs, everybody gets placed straight into ours is the Living the Dream group. They get placed in this group, and they get 48 hours, and these are her words, to marinate. So they get sat in this group for 48 hours to marinate. And once this 48 hours is up, the person is to be rung, not messaged, not flitted around, just straight on the phone, calling them. And by then, these people they've had their questions answered. They've seen results. They've seen what the product is. They're involved in it. They're really looking into it. They're like, well, my friend's doing it and she's just loving it. And from this phone call, she's getting people their whole team's getting people to sign just from doing that. So then that's when it moves into the belief. So in the faith area, they've enrolled 2 people, and they're still in that faith area, and that's when the belief, we're not going to go into the belief, but that's when it grows bigger, and they grow bigger because they're believing now. They've got 2 people enrolled, and they're just like, oh my goodness. So the last approach is the most simple and the best approach ever. So is when someone is signing with their friend and with their spouse, this is the important time. They should be an instant consultant, and there shouldn't be any other option. So this is what I would say, and sorry, Brendan, I'll use you again. So, Brendan, I'm so excited. This is going to be such a great experience, and it's going to be even so more rewarding that Nikki's doing this alongside you.
That would be nice. Yeah, thanks, Shaz. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited to do it together.
Yeah, it's really good. So, look, while I'm signing you both up, it would really be neglectful of me if I didn't tell you about the rebate that Isagenix offers.
Yeah, fantastic. So you told me that I receive an $80 rebate when we enroll Nikki, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. But, because you are signing Nikki, all we need is one more person to join you guys, and, you can have this little team join at the same time, and that's going to give you a cash rebate of $370. How exciting would that be to get 65% off your first pack?
Oh, that would be phenomenal. That's a lot more than $80. I'll be wrapped with that. So just for finding one other person?
Yeah, all you have to do is in this next week, let's just find you one other person. I'll help you do it.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic, Sherry. I'd love your help. I'm sure I can help find one other person. And then what do I do? Just get them on the phone to yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll help you every step of the way. And we'll get them started. We'll get them excited so they can join your little team.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your help.
That's all right. So, that simple approach why wouldn't Brendan go out and look for one other person if he knew he was going to go from $80 to $370? He's at least going to attempt it. There's not going to be any doubt that he's not going to attempt to do that. So that is so simple. So does anybody else have any other approaches to creating a consultant? Brendan?
Yes, I think there's one other approach that can sometimes work really, really well, and generally most people love helping other people. So as we get closer and closer to hitting that level of executive, there's people in our team that really appreciate what we've done for them with their health journey. So sometimes it can be as simple as going back to them with a level of honesty and saying, you know what, look, I'm really close. I'm really close to hitting a new level inside of my business. I'm passionate about helping as many people as what I possibly can. If you were to able to find one person to get started, you'll get a rebate on your products, but it'll go a long way to helping me to achieve my business goal that I've got for this week as well. Do you think you'd be able to help me out? And I think that way as well shows that, there is a level of helping each other, and it creates excitement around what we do, which is sharing.
Absolutely. And, it comes back to that, don't complicate it. It is simple. Has anybody else got another approach?
I've got one, Sherry.
Okay.
The other one I was just looking at too is quite simple, is the associate checklist. So in the interview one, there's a really easy one there. It asks, who do you have in your support team? And from there, they may say, oh, yeah, awesome, my mum, my sister, yeah, they're right behind me. And then straight from there, you just ask the question and say, well, what do you think we should get them started on? Oh, I haven't thought about that. Let's find out what their ultimate goal is. Are they looking to youthful aging or weight loss or something like that? And then it can just sort of open straight up into that U+2, and then talking with that beautiful language I've got of the product rebate.
Absolutely. Another simple one. As soon as I talked to Sean when I started, he said, it's so good to do this with support. That's the first thing he said to me. And, I didn't have someone join me straight away, but I did look till, I thought about it, and I thought, who would start with me? So
I have another one.
Amanda.
It's not a quick one. It's kind of like what you said, how you just need to plant the seed, but events and getting to things like Wellness Wednesday. Since we've had Wellness Wednesday and people are just more able to come and hear it from more than just one person, and that's why three-way calls work so well too. As soon as it takes away from, oh, it's not just this person wants something from me, it's actually something that's bigger than they realise, it goes a long way to people wanting to get their own business started and that sort of thing.
Thank you, Amanda. And that's right. When we talk about getting to events, we have to remember that this is an event, what we're doing tonight. Going to a Wellness Wednesday is an event. Going to a launch party is an event. And that's how people get started, and that's how people get excited. So just because it's small doesn't mean it's not an event. Okay, well, now we're actually going to go to Tom. Tom and I spoke today about how we need to keep it simple and how we need to, how to duplicate this needs to be simple and can be so simple. So Tom's going to give us a little insight, because here Ash and Tom are the consultant making machine, this team. So we need to really listen what he has to say.
Gary, yeah, guys, I guess, and Beth and I did a little bit of work with this a few weeks ago, a week or so ago. Sometimes with so much information through, we can can get caught up with and skills up, but then forget what it's like when we actually bring someone really new in. Obviously, all the stuff we're talking about is fantastic because it's all the stuff that we can really teach to our people. But, I know there's a lot of people on here that listen to Michael Klaus, and I really love him. And he always says that whatever we do now, we should be able to show someone the very same thing they live across the street, across the country. That means to say that whatever we do, if I was to enrol Sherry today and she didn't know anything about health, she didn't know anything about isogenics, she was just started and we wanted to turn around and get some people started with her. How would we turn around and do that? And how could she pass on those skills? Hear me, guys, or is that not super clear? Oh, no. We'll jump on another laptop, the other one in there, and I'll come back on.
So while Tom's doing that, we also spoke today about, the book GoPro is where you're going to find all the basics. All of us should know that book and go back to that book. And I know that Tom goes back to it all the time, and he's only just, when he spoke about all that information and all that knowledge we know, he's stepped back again to read GoPro, because it takes us back to that beginning point and how simple it can be. So I don't know what he's doing. I think one of the another big points is when I've personally made consultants is I decided, I don't know how long ago, that when I enroll somebody, I truly believe that they're going to be a consultant, that they will have 2 people to enroll, because why wouldn't they want their products paid for? Why wouldn't they want to share good health with their family and friends? So I obviously don't have all the people I've signed as consultants, but I have, an expectation that, not an expectation, but I just believe in myself that there's no reason why they wouldn't do that. So I think it's a good way to, go in and have that belief with yourself and know that, everybody else can share it. Here's Tom back. So see if we can hear him better.
Hey guys, can you hear me now? Awesome. New laptop, so we switched it around. So all I was saying before was we really want something that everyone can duplicate. So no matter if we start, like say for instance, take Sherry was starting today and she didn't know anything about Isagenix, she didn't know anything about health, she didn't come in knowing anything about it, but she wanted to share this journey. How would she go about and do that? And we've got to make sure that whatever we do today, we can duplicate that down to someone tomorrow. And that's exactly what we're talking about. And Jeff and I were going back over the basics with this the other day. And he put up the pajama bosses as well, which basically reiterates GoPro as to how we go about it and what we do. And really, they utilise the 3-way call, as Amanda talked about, but they have someone on the call already. So the other day, basically, we got someone started. We were talking to them, and I said to her, look, what? I bumped into it at the childcare centre with the kids. And I said to her, we started chatting away, talking away, and she was telling me she was interested in her health. I told her a little bit about what I did. And she said, oh, that really, really interests me. And I said to her, look, if I was to shoot you a clip through, would you check it out? So it's just the if I would you. Every single person could do that. So if Sherry started off today and she knew nothing about this system, she could easily say, look, I've just started a new health journey. And they might say, oh, I'm looking to start a new health journey. And Sherry could easily say, well, what results are you after? And they might say, oh, I'm really wanting to lose a little bit of weight and feel a bit healthier. Look, if I was to shoot you a clip through, would you check it out? Any single person can do that. You don't have to have any knowledge, skill whatsoever. And then when the person says, yeah, no worries, all we do is we check it, we go through, same as on GoPro, and we say, if I was to send that clip through to you, when do you think you'd be able to have a look at it? And if she says, yep, 7 o'clock tonight, we say, cool, I've just sent 2 through to you. It'll take about 15 minutes. If I give you a call at 7:30, would you be happy to jump on the phone then? Sure, I would be. That'd be great. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Ash on the phone with me because she knows a little bit more about that than I do. She'll resonate a lot better with you and she'll be able to answer the questions for you. How's that sound? And it doesn't make the 3-way call weird because all we're doing is we're adding another point of validation straight on there, and we're going to make sure that that person, therefore, resonates and really relates to the person that they're going to talk to. That way we're not trying to have to set anything up. There's automatically someone there. Then once we get there, all I do is connect the 2 people and I sit back like we do on any normal 3-way call, and Ash works the magic with the person because they're both mums. And then once we get them up and started, all we do is the same thing. We bring them through and then we resonate with someone else they might connect with. We add them straight through on a welcome call. So once they're started, not only do they know Ash, not only do they have Living the Dream Now and do they have all their support, but then we go, hey, look, I really want to connect you to someone else. This is what we do in the team culture. You know how we did that call before? I just wanted to plug you into someone else. I think you guys will get along really well. Boom, you've got a second point of connection there. And then all of a sudden they know they've got heaps of support, and anyone can do that. You don't have to know anything about Isagenix because the person on the line is going to do the work for you, and the clip's going to grab the attention for those people. All we do is follow up. And that's something that Jeff Brew pointed out to me the other day. And sometimes we get caught up looking at all the real specifics of things in training and we forget about the real basics. But then, for instance, like I might have been in this and Benny's here and Brendan's here and there's a lot of people on here who can probably sit there and talk about products forever and a day. But if I start Isagenix tomorrow and I don't know anything about health, all I can tell you is that I've got a few friends that do this. They've had great results. I'm not sure what results you're after, but what would you be interested in? I can plug you in a clip. I can plug you in a person that knows more. And then we can all duplicate that. All we need to do is be able to utilise the team and then be able to leverage each other to get great results. So we're utilising that and going back to something that's really, really simple because it doesn't really matter what works, as they say. It only matters what duplicates. And if it stops 2 or 3 levels down, then so does your business stop 2 or 3 levels down. So thanks, Jeff Spear, for pointing it back out to me, man. That was awesome. But I'm glad that you can hear me this time, guys. So it's just really, really basic. You've heard it all before, but the basic stuff is the stuff that works really well. Did you want to add anything in?
I just was going to say, I think the basic stuff like this, it really stops that verbal vomiting as well, so that when someone asks a question, a lot of the times we all get really excited and we maybe give them too much information, which is not duplicatable either. So when you can just say, here's a link, would you be able to check it out? Or, if I sent you a link, like Tom said, it just stops all that extra stuff that doesn't even really need to be said. And then that person sometimes would get overwhelmed and then they're like, oh, this person's crazy. And yeah, so if we can, I just think that it's a really good, easy, duplicatable way. And it seems to be working for us.
Yep, simple, effective. So if you guys have got anything else, we're happy to answer any questions. But other than that was about all we had to offer.
Thank you, guys. That's awesome. And that's what it's all about. We need to keep it simple. Every one of us needs to keep it simple. So does anybody have any questions?
Sorry.
Emily.
Hi. Matilda would like to say something. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Isagenix is awesome and yummy. Go, everyone's team.
Yay! Thank you, Matilda. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm glad you like drinking your shakes.
Can you hear me?
Do you like shakes? Yeah, I can hear you. Do you like shakes best or do you like the bars, the chocolate bars?
I like the chocolate bars.
Oh, me too. Me too. They're good.
Thank you, Shari.
It's all right. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I've got one for Tom and Ash. So I know this is fantastic. I just noticed in a lot of the comments we're starting with consultants that just some of the comments there are talking about how everyone needs to find out if it's going to work for them first before they want to share it with anyone. Tom and Ash, obviously you guys, and like Sharry talked about in one of the ways to create consultants with the hope, faith and belief. You know, this is happening within 4 days at the most. However, we know that consultants can happen at the same time as well. Some people have 2 people they want to do it with. Do you have something that you could just share with us, maybe around creating, you know, these guys getting excited and not thinking, well, is this going to work for me first before I tell anyone about it, or do I feel like this is amazing? You know, I'd love to have 2 people do it with me.
Yeah, well, I'll just say, and then you can say if you want.
Okay.
I guess what we say is that we felt exactly the same way when we first started as well. And, you know, when we first started, we really didn't have the money to invest in starting Isagenix, and knowing that we had the 30-day money-back guarantee and knowing we could get a pretty instant rebate back on, you know, at least most of our products, that was a real big sort of incentive for us. And most people have 2 people that you'll just say, do this, and they won't ask any questions. They'll just sort of go along for the ride, whether it's a family member or a best mate, or, you know, usually people have 2 close people that they can talk to. And for Tom, that was me and Al, his brother. So, you know, it was just a quick instant consultant for us. So before we even got our products, we were a consultant. So we used that a lot in that, you know, we didn't really know what we were doing either. But the good thing is that we're all in this together, and, you know, we can all keep each other accountable. And, you know, if it doesn't work, we can all just send our products back and get our money back. So we just use a lot of our own experience of when we first started. And I think people then feel at ease knowing that we were exactly the same as what they were feeling. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, you can utilise the feel, felt, found, and a lot of people do, but it's just so long as we don't utilise it as a rope technique. So it's genuine. So if you don't understand how someone feels, then don't say that you do. But when you do, then it's fine to say, look, I understand how you feel. I felt the very same way. But what I found was that when we looked at it, you know, we were just honest. We didn't know what the Isagenix products could do for us personally, but what we had seen is what they'd done for other people. And we'd always, you know, we were fit and healthy, we felt good at that particular time, but that's not to say that we didn't want to take our health results to the next level. So we simply just said to people, look, you know, we don't know the results, but what we do know is there's great results for other people. These are the things that we've seen. And at the end of the day, if it didn't work for you and you didn't think it delivered on what it said, then there'd be a 30-day money-back guarantee. So it's really risk-free. What stuff is risk-free? And I know that you want to improve an aspect of your health because we're always talking about it. So there's your 2 people. You're automatically coming in at their level and you're automatically saying, oh, well, there's no risk. And where realistically do you get something that's no risk? And they can jump in and they can join you on the journey. So we just honestly say, hey, we'd love to do it with you. If you've got friends, why wouldn't you want to try something new with your friends? You know, it's not like you're trying to sell them anything. You're just wanting them to join you on an exciting journey moving ahead with their health. And if it's not for them, that's fine. If it doesn't work for them, then there's no risk they can get their money back. So hopefully that answers it reasonably well for you. But I always think that it's really important not to use a feel, felt, found as a rope technique, to make sure that you genuinely understand where those people feel. Otherwise, if you don't, you know, I would simply say to them, look, I don't really understand how you feel, but I know some people have felt the same way, and what they have found was, and that way it's really genuine because it's always coming from an authentic place. People can smell BS a long way away, so you never want to come from that pace. That's about it, guys, I reckon, for that one.
Thank you. It just sounds that, you know, you create the value around it. Like, you can see that, you know, that Isagenix is going to work for them, and they're going to get an awesome result. So if you build that around them from the start, you know, they're thinking, you know, this brown box is going to change my life, and I can do that with 2 other people. So yeah, it answers it well. Thank you.
Beautiful. Anybody else got any questions for anybody?
Hey, Sharry, can I go, please?
Go, Nino.
So I'm kind of like, so obviously I've got my warm market. I really haven't introduced it in my warm market. I've always felt like I was pushing them, but I've kind of come to a point where like I don't feel like I'm going to push them. So I'm going to have a launch party, and like I don't know, I just kind of say, I know I've been using the system for a while, but I know I haven't asked you. Just like, are you interested or something along the lines of that? If you know what I mean. And that's for anybody that wants to answer. Or yeah, it's a bit all over the place.
Who wants to answer that about Nino having a launch party? You know, if he's been started for a bit, how is he going to introduce? What's the best way that he can introduce these people and get them to come to his launch party?
I'll go, Sherry, if you want. You and hopefully you don't mind about what we discussed today, just a brief rundown of someone that you were a bit dubious about how you would approach that person. And I mean, we all are, so Nino might be a little bit dubious about how he's going to approach a group of people. But Sherry and I discussed today, Sherry just said, oh, look, you know, how would I approach this person? I think that she'll be really phenomenal. I think she would really do well within the business. I think she would love it. But, you know, I'm not quite sure how I could go about approaching it. What clip would really speak to that person? And I think for you and for Nino and for everyone else, it's the same thing. When you can't find something else, just come from a really genuine place of service and just say to them, look, you know, this is the system that I've been using. You might just say, hey, look, you know, if you're close by, have you got 10 or 15 minutes to catch up for a coffee tomorrow? I'd really love to be able to sit down and tell you what I'm excited and I'm passionate about. And then you turn around and you sit down with them and you're just honest with them. You tell them exactly what you've been doing, why you're excited, why you'd like them to come and hear a little bit about what you're doing, whether it be a launch party or whether it be one-on-one, and share your passion. If they feel the same sort of passion that you've got, obviously don't give them the whole story, but an aspect of what that is. And if they're wanting to align with that, they'll at least come along and check out what you're doing, Nino. And for Sherry, you know, Sherry's talking to, you know, someone who she's not quite sure they're interested. If they resonate at all with what she's saying, they'll jump on board or they'll want to find out more and go, hey, yeah, well, this could be something for me. But if you say to the person, look, there's absolutely no pressure. I realise the timing might not be right for you, but come along, see what you think about it, and make your own decision at the end of it. You'll meet some great people in the process. And really, you always give them a secondary protocol so they don't feel like they've got pressure there put on them to do something, but they can really jump on board if they want to. So it takes the pressure off the person. So that's probably something that I do, Nino. That's just an idea. But if anyone else has got anything, please add it in.
Yeah, Tom, I love that you've just said that there. That was exactly what I was thinking. I got this off a guy the other day as well, that he's got a product and a service up here in Cairns, and we started chatting away, and he didn't even know what I did, but he talked to me about so directly that if you have a product or a service and you want to get it in front of other people, then if you sit in front of them and you talk openly about your product or service, most of the time if you've got a solution for them, they'll have a go at it. And I think sometimes with you know, with Isagenix, maybe some people maybe get a little bit spooky about how do we go about things. And once again, it goes back to what Tom just said there, that people smell BS, and it's like, why hesitate? Why are we hesitating about what we've got if it's so damn wonderful? If we open up a coffee shop, the first thing every single one of us is going to do is going to tell everyone to come to our coffee shop. You know, and the same thing applies to our gym. Get to our gym, whatever it may be in our business. So Isagenix is no different to that. It is just about going, okay, if I don't know what to say and I don't have a video that will resonate, maybe I can say something in here because that's the truth. That's my truth that I'm projecting through them. And the reason I'm talking to them and the reason I feel this would be great because there's a solution for them. And Ben Kelly said something that's always stuck in my mind from about 6 months ago. Rather than offering someone an opportunity, why not ask a few questions about what's happening in their life, and then they'll actually cry pain, and we'll be able to provide a solution rather than offering an opportunity. And I think that for me really hit home. And I think Ben used it was about 6 months ago, but I think he used the analogy of when people go into a service station. You know, we often go into a service station and think, you know, it's a stereotype that maybe people aren't enjoying it so much. You know, but Ben said, well, rather than ask if, you know, if they would be interested in a different opportunity, maybe we could speak to them and ask them how long they've been at the service station for. They might say, I've been here for 5 years. Oh, wow, you must really love your job. Well, it turns out I don't. I can't stand it. I've just got nothing else that I can do. There's their pain point, then we can provide a solution. Rather than walk into the service station, pay for our petrol and say, would you be looking for something new? You know, because I think that can be a little bit patronising. So if we come from the heart with what we've got, ask questions and then provide that solution, changes everything. And I just think beating around the bush smells of hesitation and, as Tom said, a bit of BS maybe, and why are we hesitating type stuff. I hope that helps.
That's great. Thanks, guys.
Good on you, Nino. That's awesome. I think that helped me, so I hope it helped other people too. Any other questions? Ben.
Hey, Ron. I've got to speak a little bit quiet. My friend's asleep, so it's early here. Sorry for the eyes. So yeah, just a little bit about what Brendan just said then. As far as the questions is, you know, we hear so often that people will talk about we paint a vision. It's like we share the vision, and that's not what we really should be doing. We should be getting people to be able to share their vision and paint their vision. So I think people are getting that the wrong way around, where it's like, you know, we hear it so often, and hear so, you know, how often are you sharing the vision? It's like, well, how often are you getting people to share theirs? Okay, so I mean that comes in again with the questions, and that's all I simply do. If someone shows interest, like if I did anything of interest or I mentioned anything to someone about what I did, I go, okay, cool. So again, just exactly like what Jacko talks about is, how about I ask you some questions, so I can know if I can actually help you or not. And then I basically just ask a string of questions. I'm going to post up those questions in written format. That's basically in a video Jackson's done. And I simply go from there. And then basically they paint out the picture and I offer a solution to it. They've already said they want to change. All I do is offer a solution. It's like, I'm not a door-to-door salesman. And that's what some people treat this industry like. They're a door-to-door salesman. You walk up to a random person's door and say, here's something that you need. I don't know if you actually need it or not, but you need it. I don't know if your knives are dull. I don't care. I've got some sharp knives, even if I don't know if you've got sharp knives or not, but here's some sharp knives. You know, I think if we can get people to share their vision, they're going to acknowledge that they want change, and there's nowhere else for them to go besides acknowledge that they want change and make a change. But if we go and tell people they want change, it's a little bit hard sometimes, but there is a direct way of being able to do this, and it's through showing appreciation, through showing why you're thinking of the person, why they'd be great at doing this, right? And there's no harm in going and saying something. Look, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your opinion because of this. I want your take on and what it is I'm doing. Is it okay if I can share with you? There's so many ways of being able to go and do this, you know, without being too overt. There's a couple other things that I've picked up from everyone. So I've loved the content so far. Sorry, I can't be excitable because I'm you know, I've got a flatmate here. So one of the things about being simple is if you ever ask me for anything, or come to me with a question, I'm typically not going to give you it. I'm going to tell you where to find it, but I'm not going to tell you myself. And this is 4 years on, and this is one of the biggest things that I've had to learn. Is like I could answer every little thing that anyone came to me to ask, but again, if I'm doing something that someone who on day dot can't do, then it makes it a little bit tough. So basically all I'm doing is like, if someone has a good question, it's like, oh, that's a great question for the group. It's like, I always want people to be able to feel comfortable using and sharing in the groups. And what does that do? That allows people to feel more comfortable when they see that people are asking questions. I also then say, okay, that's a great question for head office. If it's something to do with something that's like, you know, a bit more intricate, I go, oh, that's a good question for the head office. Not something that's not training wise, but something like to do with, you know, orders or something like that, or something specific. If it's something to do with head office, then I just typically say, oh, that would be a great question for that. And if someone says, oh, what do you think about this? And I go, oh, here's a go to that website and type in this, or I go, oh, here's this link, right? I'm almost hardly ever going to give people the answer, but I'm going to direct them to the place that I know they can. Okay, even I could go and blurt and give the answers out, but that's just not something that they're going to be able to go and pass on, right? So it's like, this is the thing about how people have gotten so twisted when they see people who do really well in this industry is they think the people that are the special ones that have success are special. And those people are the least special people, and that's why they do well. They're not trying to be special. They're trying to be systematic, and they're trying to be simple, and they're doing that consistently. And they are the least special people out there. The people that are being trying to be special are not. So when you see someone who's doing really well, don't go and look at them and go, oh, geez, they're special. Go and look at them and go, oh, they're doing really good at not being special and being very, very simple. Okay, as far as, when we're talking about getting sending someone some information, you do not do that unless they're willing to set up a follow-up call. It doesn't happen. I mean, that you give away your energy of saying, I have posture that I believe in what this is. I don't need you to do it. I would like you to do it. But again, that's standing in your ground, and that's giving off the energy of certainty. That's something they're subconsciously going to be able to pick up. You give over your cards if you're willing to do something without them willing to do something in return. Does that make sense? It's like if you're, okay, so if I was to send you a link, would you look at it? And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so what would be a good time? And just exactly what Tom said before. It's like every exposure is there to set up the next exposure. And any bit of information does not get done unless we get the next exposure sorted at that point before the tool has even been sent. It just does not happen. Okay, that's something you can find out in GoPro as well if you haven't found in GoPro. I mean, I read GoPro maybe once and a lot of stuff was stuck because I just implemented it straight away. And that was it. Okay, so something that helps people in the beginning, as far as if they've shared a curiosity post, is if you're their sponsor, just let them know that if they get if someone's interested, just have them say, and they're asking questions, go, hey, look, these are all great questions. I'm really, really new to this. I haven't been in it all that long, but my good friend, so-and-so has been in it for so long. They've helped me get started, and they were so amazing in being able to answer all my questions so thoroughly for me to be able to make a decision. What's best is probably for us to be able to get on a three-way call or a call with them so they can thoroughly answer your questions. Okay, so that allows your new person to feel like they don't have to know everything, which they don't, and allows them to be able to learn to leverage straight off the bat. Inviting to an op. Okay, so once again, the number one skill of a network marketer is inviting people to an event or an opportunity. When there's an opportunity that's provided, you better have your list ready, and you better be ready to go to invite. Okay, so the opportunities are not just there just for something to do. If we create opportunities and the team create online webinars or online launch parties, or there's an event coming up, basically that's there because your business, that's where your business lies. That's the number one skill, is being able to get people exposed to the experts and being able to go and leverage. If you're dwelling on those opportunities and an opportunity to do that's arising and you're not taking it and your team's not taking it, then there has to come a time where this eventually happens. Otherwise, it's a very slow-moving process as far as being able to build a business. So when there's an opportunity that arises, this comes out, and then your ability to go and invite is really where it's at. And you guys know that I've posted up 1,000,000 times an inviting template on things to remember on how to invite. So if you need that again, I mean, most of you already know it. Well, you should know it or saved it. I could post that up again, maybe when I'm awake in the morning. But yeah, that's just some of the things that I picked up that I wanted to contribute through everything that you guys have been teaching. I think it's been great. Like I think the best part about me not running these anymore is I get to learn so much, and I think the leadership is just going next level, and it's just so impressive. So thanks everyone for who is sharing, and thanks for everyone for being on.
Thank you, Ben. Always so valuable. And what you said at the start of that about casting your vision, I only just learned that, I just thought that I needed to cast my vision. It was only a few months ago that I realised that no, the people I'm sharing with, they need to cast their vision. I'm here to provide them a solution. It's never about me, and it's always about them casting their vision. And I love the other thing that that you said about the leaders not being special, because they're not. They're just people, and they're just sharing their experience, and they're doing it the simple way, and that's why it's so effective and it's so duplicatable. Are there any more questions? Are we ready to finish up for the night?
I just wanted to say one more thing, if that's okay too. And it just brought up something when we were talking about asking permission, if we could send out a link. And it just made me remember, or it just reminded me, I guess, and we're all friends with, lots and lots of people on Facebook, and daily I get added into like capture pages for other people's network marketing businesses. So like, being a female, I get added into, makeup pages and hair pages and nail pages. And it is so annoying because not once has someone reached out and asked me or asked for my permission if I want to be added into this page. And then I don't want to be inundated with all these notifications and stuff. So I end up having to go in there, take myself out, and it is time consuming. But I also think, wow, these people don't know how to really, build or cut like a relationship. They haven't asked me any questions. And so it's, I just thought it's really important. I know no one in here would be doing it, but if we're ever adding someone into Living the Dream Now, make sure that we're having that conversation with someone beforehand and seeing if they would really like to be added in and gaining that permission first, because the last thing we want to do is turn someone off, because it's a high traffic page. There's lots of posts and notifications, but I just know how annoyed I am when I'm just added randomly, and it happens all the time, and I'm like, like another one. And I guess I feel a bit sad for them too, because they just have no idea what they're doing, and this is just how they think they can build their business, and it's just not how we build a business. It's really by doing that belly to belly and having those conversations and really talking to people about how we can help. So I just thought I'd bring that up too, because just with the whole permission thing, it's definitely a great way to start.
I'm wondering if that's a girl thing, because it happens every day. So I don't know if boys get that. I'm not sure. I don't think Danny gets added into anything, but mind you, he's only got 34 Facebook friends, so probably not. Anybody else before we go?
Shaz, just wanted to say, I'm sure everyone agrees that you were just absolutely fantastic. That's the first time you've stepped up and done a call, and there's 41 people on this call, and it can be really, really challenging to do that, really nerve-wracking, but you've stepped up, and I'm sure everyone agrees that you did an absolutely incredible job. So you're a natural. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Brendan. I really appreciate that. And I want to just finish. Oh, sorry, Ben.
I just wanted to quickly touch on that. You did such an amazing job, and I just think, ever since I've been out in LA, I'm around a lot of people who are like coaches and trainers and everything like that, and they're charging absurd amounts of money for groups like this and for calls like this and for mentoring like this that are not getting the same results, that are not have the ability to get people the same amount of money, right? So, I mean, the stuff that you're hearing and the people that you're getting mentoring from and the people you're getting coaching from, there's a lot of people out there that are paying like $400 a week for the same shit. And it's like they're not even got a vehicle to be able to do anything with it, right? So I wish like everyone understood just how powerful and how important and how much of a value having these calls is, and especially for our team to be able to know that, because there's literally coaches out there charging an arm and a leg for the same stuff with less content and not getting the runs on the board as much as the people that are in this group. And they're having to bear all the weight of the group and having to be the be all and end all. Whereas we've got a whole bunch of people everyone gets to tap into and gets to learn from. That value, like you get people getting this for free. This is for free. I had almost a moment there where I was like, I was going to start charging people to have to be on this because it was just absurd. I was seeing like what kind of stuff we're putting out there and what people are charging in specific mentoring groups. I was like, maybe people would value this more if I started to make it $60 a call or something like that. I would never do that, but it really just puts into perspective that, if you really care about your people that want to build a business, we need to make sure that they know and be there. And that's where we really can indicate the level of seriousness also. So a great job to you. If I had kept doing this, we wouldn't have seen the leadership pop through, and we wouldn't have seen such the quality of info continually getting produced through the thing. So I'm super glad that I moved out of the way.
Thank you, Ben, for moving out of the way. That was really nice. And I was going to say that we're lucky to be in this group, but we're not. We're just like Maxine just wrote, we're blessed. And we're blessed to be surrounded by this group of people. So I'm going to finish tonight's call with a quote from my most favourite person, Susan Sly. And it says, go with what feels right, trust your gut. It's the GPS to your soul. So, every choice we make, every step we make, listen to what your gut's saying. Listen to what's being said from the inside out, and you'll make the right choice. That's it. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks, Shari. Thank you. Bye.
No worries.